The imperial court of Velthera gleamed with bioluminescent crystal, casting prismatic shadows across the assembled dignitaries. Crown Prince Kaelor stood at the center of the grand hall, his ceremonial armor polished to perfection, each plate etched with the victories of his bloodline. He had never known defeat. He had never known hunger. He had never known fear. Lady Erin Vale stood among the diplomatic envoys, representing humanity in this gathering of 100 species. She wore no armor, only the simple black uniform of the Terran Diplomatic Corps, but it was her exposed arms that drew whispers through the crowd, arms marked with scars that told stories in a language older than words. The human representative, Prince Kaelor announced, his voice dripping with amusement as he descended from his raised platform. I've heard tales of your species. They say you come from a death world, yet I see before me a diplomat, not a warrior. Erin met his gaze without flinching. Your Highness honors me with his attention. Kaelor circled her slowly, his retinue of nobles following like predatory birds. These scars, he said, gesturing dismissively at her arms. Did you lose a sparring match? Trip on your training grounds? Laughter rippled through his followers. They're reminders, Erin replied evenly. Reminders of clumsiness. Perhaps. The Crown Prince reached out as if to touch one particularly vicious mark that ran from her shoulder to her elbow. 3 parallel lines, deep and old. What manner of accident leaves such marks? Did you fall into farm equipment? The court erupted in cruel laughter. Erin remained still, her expression unchanged. They remind me where I've been, she said quietly, and what I survived. Before Kaelor could deliver another mocking retort, the massive doors at the far end of the hall groaned open. A hush fell over the assembly, so complete that the sound of crystal breathing seemed loud in the sudden silence. The eldest entered. It had no name that anyone living could pronounce. It was older than the Empire, older than most of the civilizations represented in the hall. Its species, the Kreshna, had been apex predators when Prince Kaelor's ancestors were still climbing out of their planet's primordial seas. The eldest stood 3 meters tall, its chitinous body marked with the mineral deposits of centuries, its 6 eyes glowing with an intelligence that had witnessed the rise and fall of countless empires. The Kreshna did not attend diplomatic functions. They did not bow to royalty. They simply existed, ancient and terrible in the dark spaces between stars. Yet here it was. The eldest moved through the crowd with the fluid grace of a creature born to hunt. Dignitaries pressed themselves against walls, their instincts screaming even as their minds knew they were safe. The creature stopped before the raised platform where Prince Kaelor had returned to stand, suddenly looking far less confident than moments before. But the eldest did not acknowledge the Crown Prince. Instead, it turned its massive head toward Lady Erin Vale. All 6 eyes focused on her with an intensity that made the air feel thick. The creature lowered itself, its armored body bending in a gesture that no living being had ever witnessed from a Kreshna. It bowed. The court collectively held its breath. You, the eldest spoke, its voice like stones grinding in an ancient cave. Show me, Erin understood. She extended her arm, displaying the 3 parallel scars that the Crown Prince had mocked moments before. The eldest's eyes widened, a display of emotion shocking in its rarity. Blood-fang talon marks, it breathed, from a prime hunter full grown. The creature's head tilted, studying the scars with something approaching reverence. You survived that? Barely, Erin admitted. The blood-fang hunt in packs of 12, the eldest continued, speaking now to the crowd, though its eyes never left Erin. They are apex predators on 17 worlds. Their talons carry venom that paralyzes prey within seconds. A single strike is a death sentence. It paused. Yet you bear 3 strikes. You should not be standing. You should not exist. Prince Kaelor's face had gone pale. Surely the human exaggerates. These could be... Silence. The eldest's voice cracked like a whip. For the first time, it turned to face the Crown Prince. You mock what you do not understand, Princeling. Shall I read the rest of her history? The creature moved closer to Erin, examining other scars with the careful attention of a scholar reading ancient texts. Here, plasma burns from a Ravager assault. Here, crystalline blade wound clean through, yet the organs repaired. Here, the eldest paused at a circular scar on her shoulder. Void spider bite. The venom liquefies internal organs. Its voice dropped to something almost like wonder. How many died beside you? 43, Aaron said quietly. I was the only survivor. Because you are human. The eldest straightened to its full height. Your species does not simply survive, Lady Vale. You endure what would kill any other species 3 times over. You adapt. You refuse to die even when death would be mercy. It turned back to the assembly. I have lived 3,000 years. I have seen empires rise and crumble. I have witnessed the strong devour the weak across 1,000,000 worlds. But I have never seen a species that wears death itself as armor and walks forward still. The eldest moved toward the exit, but paused beside Prince Kalor. You were born to privilege, Princeling. Born to power handed down through bloodlines. But this human, it gestured to Aaron. She was forged in fire that would reduce you to ash. Those scars are not marks of clumsiness. They are medals of honor in a war against existence itself, and she is still here. As the eldest departed, silence reigned in the hall. Prince Kalor stood frozen, his earlier confidence shattered like crystal under pressure. Lady Aaron Vale adjusted her uniform and turned to face the Crown Prince. Your Highness, she said with perfect diplomatic courtesy, shall we discuss the trade agreement? For the first time in his life, Crown Prince Kalor understood what it meant to face someone who had earned their place not through birthright, but through the simple, stubborn human refusal to die. He nodded, speechless. And in the courts of Velthara, the human's reputation changed forever, not as victims of a harsh world, but as survivors of everything the universe could throw at them, because that's what humans did. They survived.